If you watched my pantry tour video, linked below, you will know that the only tomato product that we can is whole tomatoes. From our whole tomatoes, we can make any tomato product that we want. We can make pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, diced tomatoes, rotel, salsa, stewed tomatoes. Any tomato product we want, again, we can make from whole tomatoes, which is why we only can whole tomatoes. In this video, I'm going to show you how we use our whole tomatoes to make spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. Please notice that these particular jars of home canned tomatoes, these were canned using our frozen tomatoes that we thawed and then canned because we didn't have time to can them as they came off the vine. If you are interested in freezing tomatoes to can later, I do have a video on that. I will link my entire Tomato 101 series below. It's a playlist with multiple videos about tomatoes and canning. So the first thing you want to do is to drain the liquid from the tomatoes. And I like to put it in a Ninja cup and just puree it for just a few seconds. And here is what it looks like. It's nice and thick. You know, it holds its shape whenever you run your finger through it. It is just pure tomatoes right now. And yes, there are seeds in this, so if you don't want the seeds, strain them out. Now, I will go ahead and say that because this was not canned as tomato sauce, which means it was not boiled down for several hours, causing the tomato flavor to be more concentrated, it won't be as strong of a tomato pasty-like flavor, but this is what we've been doing for several years. No one has ever commented negatively about it. They say they like my sauce, they say they like my pizza, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. Here you can see the tomatoes are still pretty meaty and whole. Oh, and you may be wondering, I know I answered it in the pantry tour video, but in case you're wondering what type of tomatoes I use, they are just whatever tomatoes we have growing. The majority of them are your slicing tomatoes. That tomato pulp that is in your Ninja cup, do not dump that down the drain. Keep that as it is in case you need to add a little bit of water to it to thin your sauce. Then you take your tomato puree, put it in a pot on the stove, add in all of your spices, and then you'll want to stir your spices in. And your spices can be anything that you like. Again, it is to suit your taste. But once you add all your spices in and mix it, go ahead and bring it up to a boil. As soon as it starts to boil, of course you'll want to have a lid on, otherwise it'll splatter all over your stove. But once it starts to boil, go ahead and turn it down to a low simmer. And the longer it simmers, the more flavorful it gets. I like to go no less than 30 minutes. It's whatever you have time for. Most often, I only have about 10 minutes. Once your sauce is done, you just use it for whatever recipe you need it for. In this particular video, we're having spaghetti, so we have some noodles and some ground beef. So for this particular recipe, I used 1 pound of noodles, 1 pound of ground beef, and then 3 pint jars of my home canned tomatoes. Thanks for watching.